Alrighty then. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Percy. So today I have decided we're going to do another series, and of course with the new awesome blockbuster of the summer, Inside Out. In my opinion, it's a blockbuster. I mean, there's also Jurassic World, but hey, let's go with the more colorful creatures other than, you know, the raptors. For the next, so many weeks, I'm gonna go ahead and teach you each character, but it's going to be put together like this. So I'm gonna start with Joy in this stance, and then maybe next week we could do Disgust in this kind of stance. That way you'll have them put together, so it's an option for you in case you just want to draw the character individually, or you want to put them all together as a big collab, like picture or whatever. But do you understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain this in a more interesting way. Anyways, so we're going to start with Joy first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make just a general circle like this. After my circle, now Joy has a very interesting looking head. She kind of almost looks like a tangerine kind of a head. She looks like a tangerine. I can't say tangerine. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to come off to the side right here. Bring down this side just a little bit. Curve inward like that. And make this nice and round. From this side of her face, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up over here. Just like that. So we're building around the initial circle that we made. Okay, so what I want to do after that is I want to go ahead and pick the middle of her face. And since in this particular reference that I'm using, I'm going to bring down the middle of her face right here. Now she's turned off to the side, so we have an eye that's coming off to the side right here. I'm going to come over here. And we have another eye right here for right now. Okay, in the middle between these eyes, we have the middle of her face, which of course is like her nose. So this is the side of her face, so I'll go ahead and make that area right there more prominent, and this is more round, so I'm going to go ahead and bring down that just a little bit. Then I'm going to jump over here, and since I have initially made this my eye line like that, okay, and then I'm going to come up, make this a little bit more rounder, going on top of that eye line. And this over here like that. Middle of her face, there's her nose. And just for right now, since we're laying things out here and there, everywhere, I'm going to go ahead and put the top of her smile. Her smile comes just a little bit down below her nose. And another part of her mouth over here. Now we won't fill it in all the way. Let's just go ahead and start placing things out, because Joy, even though she looks simple, the particular image I'm trying to teach you, she is still complicated. Okay, now to pick this, let's go ahead. Her hair is built up around her head, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up from my eye right here for right now, and I'm going to go kitty corner right up here. I'm going to go ahead and say this is the part of my hair. So initially from right down here, I'm going to go alongside of her head. And there's one section of her hair. Then I'm going to come over here, come out, down, and off here for right now. And of course we'll give her choppy haircut right after we're just placing little itsy bitsy pieces for right now. And then of course we have like the little spiky. I'll go ahead and draw the spiky part at least. Right here for right now. But once again, these are all guidelines, and of course they can always change. I'm going to come up. She has a bang coming right in between her face. Come up here. And of course, part of her hair is chopping off the side of her eye. So I made that line. Oh look, Joy. So I'm going to come in and chop off the side of her eye that her bang is overlapping her face with. So that's there for right now. And of course we'll get to her hair in a bit. We have this side of her face coming outward. Very rounded right here, and it's coming up and down and around like that. So let's get ahead and erase a couple of guidelines. After we've placed a couple things out, as you can see, I went ahead and erased a bunch of my guidelines. So let's start with this eye first. Now the thing with Joy is she really doesn't have eyelashes, and of course she doesn't have crazy eyelashes like Disgust. What she has is more of like an eyeliner So she has this big, giant, like thick black line surrounding the top of her eye, especially. And then I'll come over here, and she's got a fairly thick line here, and a thick line coming off right here, okay? Now, let's jump inside of her eye and go ahead and give her a pupil. This pupil is just a regular round circle, and it comes right to the bottom of her eye area, right there. And of course over here, come off to the side. And the circle is generally going off into the corner, just like that. And it's got a little bit of white space right underneath, like that. After that, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and at least draw her eyebrow, and her eyebrow is hiding right beneath this mass piece of her hair, bang, I don't know. Anyways, it's hiding right back there, and you can't even see the other eyebrow over here because her hair cuts all up in her face, and we'll adjust that later. But for right now, what you're going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and draw the inside of her eye. Here's her black area. Come over here, and of course it's chalked off to the side just like this. And then make this a little bit more prominent. And then she's got really dark blue eyes, so I'm just going to shade around it, but I'm going to leave that little itty bitty gleam in her eyes, just like that. Make it a little bit darker. Just like that. And of course I'll make this, her eyelash line, a little bit thicker. Ta-da! After that, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and do her nose. Now her nose is a very interesting thing because it's not actually a nose. It just looks like a little itty bitty hill and just that little definition of a nose. So I'm going to shade around and come up and around our circle area. And what you can do, since the light is kind of hitting her in this direction, I can go ahead and just get rid of that little guideline that I had, just like that. It's okay, you don't have to like cut it off or actually make a nose shape. It's there. That's a nose. Next is, I'm going to go ahead, bring up this side of her smile, coming up towards her side of her cheek right here. And I'm going to come up this way. Then after that, I'm going to come down from this area. And come down from here. And ta-da! An open mouth smile, just like that. Now for right here, she's got, of course, Joy smiles all the time, so she's got dimples. So even though we're bringing up this side of her smile right here, that means her dimples are going up towards her eye, like that. So you see how I kind of rounded off the corner of her eye right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that bottom line that we made underneath her eye, because that's her cheek. Okay, now I'm going to jump inside. And I'm going to go ahead, start from, here's my corner right here. So I'm going to come a little bit in here. I'm going to go ahead and line the top of her mouth, come up, and go up into the corner, just like that. Okay, then I'm going to jump inside and give a little bit of a hill in here. And of course, that is her tongue. And of course, you can shade it to give her that negative space inside of her mouth. Like that. Now, for Joy's lips, she really doesn't have like really dark, prominent lips. They're more of just a regular like skin color on us, as opposed to she's being all tangerine style. So just to shade that off just a little bit, I would just give her a dark line on the top here, the top line of her mouth, and then I'd come underneath and give her a little bit of shading down below. Of course I should have done this. You should make, just to give that little bit of shading, make sure your mouth lines are a little thicker so you can see the separation between the shaded lip stick lines and her actual mouth lines. Like that, just shading it just a little bit, like that. Next, let's go ahead and start placing her body a little bit more. So underneath her mouth, I'm going to come right from underneath right here. And eventually this like area of her face, somebody's watching me. Stop looking over here. I'm going to bring her face over here just like this. I'm gonna bring her face under just like this for right now. I'm gonna come underneath her mouth off to the side. I'm gonna make a little circle right there for right now. Okay? After that, what I'm gonna do is underneath over here, I'm gonna bring this part down like that. After that, I'm gonna come underneath this part of her face and I'm gonna come over here and round that off for right now like that. From here, I'm gonna go up and just make this small section right here. Keep going up from here. And I'm gonna make this little section like this. Okay, and then for right now, I'm just gonna draw that for her hand and we'll get to that in a bit. Now I'm gonna come off to the side right here where I made this section. I'm gonna make this area right here. Go ahead and make it down. It's gonna chop off the side of her face. Like that. And I'm gonna make a circle here for right now. Then I'm gonna go ahead and mirror that other side. Come on down and back into that section there. Okay? After that, let's go ahead and I wanna place the rest of her body so it kind of makes sense. So I'm gonna come down from her arm right here and we're gonna make her torso, which is going outward. Like that. I'm gonna come down from over here. She's jumping. So from in here, I'm gonna curve outward, go back in, and then I'm gonna come outward like this, and then I'm gonna close this off right here, just like that. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead cut off this section with just a mid piece. And over here we don't want to make her look like she's a floating person, so I want to go ahead and bring out her leg just for right here for right now. And then over here I'm going to go ahead and bring this section of her leg down as well. Okay, erase that for right now. Here we go. So we have all of her body mostly, so we have to go ahead and at least finish her hair, finish her dress, and finish her hands. So for her hands are like, rah, you know. Seeing as I'm gonna go off the page no matter what, I do want to teach you how to actually, you probably have better space than I do for right now, but anyways, I'm just gonna go off onto this side of the paper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, draw her thumb. Then from over there, I'm gonna just draw a line from right now. This is always a trick with drawing hands. Just go ahead and draw like the lines of where the fingers are going and their actual length. Like that. So there's the pinky, the ring finger, middle finger, and pointer finger. And they all have enough space between each of them. So I'm just going to kind of round this off, come back down, go in the middle finger, come back up, a little bit of space, ring finger, and then the pinky finger. And it's kind of turned outward like that. Alright, from there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and circle it off like that and go back into the section of her wrist. So you just go in and you just shape them up just a little bit more to make them look more natural, like that. And once again, her hands are going outward like that, so we need to give like the inside of her palm a little bit more definition. I'm going to go ahead and clear up some of the guidelines. Separate these off just a little bit more. Just like that, and then I'm going to come inward, give a little bit of definition of her palm. I'm going to go in, give a little bit more definition to her thumb, like that. So it looks more like a hand, like that. Then I'm going to go ahead, define her arm just a little bit more, give it more of an actual realistic looking shape to it. So it's more round, inward. Wider as it gets to the bottom, and her face is cutting off that side just like that. Alright, now let's jump off to this side. Again, if I run out of room, I'm just gonna cross over to the other section of this paper. Okay, so for this hand over here, that arm over, that hand over, whoa, totally got separated. No! Keep the fingers together. I'm off over here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give the shape of my palm, shape of my thumb, and of course I'm gonna draw a line here, a line here, a line here, and a line out this way. Just like that. Okay? So then we go ahead and we fill it in and keep the relative size that the fingers ought to be. Of course, your middle finger is going to be the tallest finger. So I'm gonna go in the middle, shape up the thumb just a little bit, come inward and down, come inward again. So I'm going to jump in the middle of the section of our thumb and pointer finger, go back up, middle finger, ring finger, and then the pinky finger, like that. You always want to make sure that your hands are relatively the same size as well. I'm going to make this a little bit more large. Okay, and then the side of her hand, and evening up that side of her wrist, and giving that a little bit more of definition inside of her palm, like that. I'm going to go ahead and erase the side of her face and her guidelines that her arm is covering, of course. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and at least give her a little bit more shape to her arm. So we got the middle part. Go inward just a little into the rest of her arm, like that. Let's go ahead and at least put her hair together, and then we'll get to her dress. So what I want to do is, it's not this tall. It kind of has a flat surface on the side right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that more of a flat surface, and then it's going to go down and start going in different spiky directions. So I get rid of that, just like this. Okay. I got a little bit of a spike on top of that section, make it a little bit more rounder. A little spiky here, some spiky here, and of course some spiky here, and coming back down, just little spikes, and now I'm come down here, spiky here, some little bit of spikes here, come upward, make this a little rounder like that, and come down, and then I make a spike here, spike there. Okay, make some spikes here and here, give a little bit more definition to her spikes on top of her head, like that, different directions everywhere. And I jump inside of her hair. Can't go wrong. She's just got, it's crazy layers, but I love this kind of haircut. It's such a pixie haircut. She kind of reminds me of Tinkerbell every now and then. Same dress, same hairstyle, kind of. Like that. And just go in different directions. You never get wrong. You can never be too wrong on hairstyles. Just like that. And of course it's blue. All different kinds of shades of blue. And I'll just color that in for now. Like that. Awesome. Another thing about Joy is she's got very cute rosy cheeks. So if I were to jump off into the side right here and just highlight those rosy cheeks, take my finger and just smooth them in for right now. And of course her face isn't that fat, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this a more better shape. But of course she's jumping for joy. Get it? Alright, for her dress, we already have like this section. I went a little bit too close to her chest, so I'm going to get rid of that section for right now, like this. And then I'm going to bring down this line. It's going to kind of go outward and come right down right here. Just to show a little bit more definition to the fold of her dress, I'm going to come down to her actual leg and make sure it's on the outside of her leg, and it's going to come inward and go into the dress like that, and then this part is gonna go outward, in, and out. And then I'm gonna come down here from this section. Still wanna go out this way, but I wanna bring it in just a little bit and shape it up like that. Ta-da! Alright, and I'll go ahead and get rid of those guidelines that we made for the dress. Joy's dress is pretty simple. It's green, and then it has like big spurts of green, blue flowers on it. So all the flowers are, we have one right here, and they almost look like petals. They're very long and thin, but they're different sizes. Like that. And they do have a little bit of a flower feel to it. Okay, and then I'm gonna come down over here. Go in here. So you want to stay in this very long oval shape like that. And then I'm going to come down here. There's one going off the side of her dress. Like that. I've got a little piece coming off over here. And then I'm going to come over here, make a smaller one. So the flowers on her dress aren't that complicated, and of course you can put as many flowers as you want on her dress as long as they're blue and they're in that shape and style of the petals I'm making. And of course we've got a leg coming down right here, and of course it's going to go off the side of her dress and go inward for right here. Well, there she is, guys. That's Joy. Sorry I kind of ran off the top of my paper. That always seems to be a big problem with me with drawing big. I always need to start all over and everything on actual pieces. Now, you do have the option that if you do want in the end to make a family portrait like this, as you can see, I already made her in the stance of the one I did on here, just like that. Who do you guys want to draw next? Would it be anger, sadness, disgust, fear? Do you want to draw? I will eventually draw them like this, where you can draw them all by themselves, or you can put them all together like this. But yeah, choice is yours, guys. Just leave in the comments below what you want me to do, who you want to do next. If you haven't seen it yet, or read it yet, they do sell them at Barnes & Nobles and stuff like that. I did not see mine at Barnes & Noble, but I did go ahead and purchase the art of Pixar, Pixar's Inside Out, and I actually got it from Amazon.com, and it's so amazing to see what the characters looked like before they were the characters. It's just amazing. It's awesome artwork, and you get to read a lot of awesome information about the movie. So if I were you, I'd buy this book if you're really into it. It's very insightful, very inspiring as well. So yeah, alrighty then, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye!